stay in the deep end of the pool and kind of pick up where I left off.
Depends, the pool's back there in the beginning. When you get that figured out, let me know.
Like I said, I like to be places where I have no business being, and then over my head. I've really enjoyed being led to study here recently, and to be able to be given some understanding of what's going on, and maybe see just a tiny bit of what the Lord was trying to tell us in this book. I want to go back to John. And, all these books kind of have their own little theme. And the one to kind of keep in mind with John is he's trying to convey Christ's deity. Luke does a really good job of talking about the man Christ, but John really delves into the deity of him, and kind of picking up where I left off of last week, going back to he came unto his own and they received him not, or his own received him not. That is linking over to where I'm wanting to go in chapter 2 of the emptiness and the mechanicalness of what Judaism had been was at the time of Christ. I mean, now it's basically a rotten corpse, but at the time then it was just a husk. And it starts off, I read through and I want to comment. And, which means we're continuing the same line of what chapter 1 was about.
That's right.
The third day was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called and his disciples to the marriage. And when they wanted wine, the mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. And Jesus said unto her, Woman, what do I have to do with thee? Mine hour is not yet come. His mother saith unto the servants, Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it. And there were set there 6 water pots of stone, and after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece, which a firkin is about 9 gallons. Jesus said unto them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them to the brim. And he said unto them, Draw out now, and bear it unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. And when the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and knew not whence it was, but the servants which drew the water knew, the governor of the feast called the bridegroom, and said unto him, Every man that beginneth does set forth good wine, and when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now. This beginneth the miracles of Jesus. Going back, the third day, not second, not the fourth, because the third day is the day of resurrection. There was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. And both Jesus was called to the marriage. See, we were introduced to marriage in the garden. It was given to us from God. And a marriage without Jesus in it is not a very happy one. Unless both members bring Jesus into it. And when they wanted wine, the mother said, The mother of Jesus said unto him, They have no wine. He wasn't wild about that. Because he doesn't say mother, he says woman. What have I to do with thee? I believe the reason he said that was because God was speaking, not her son. I'm open to correction, but it said that at that time, using that was a term of endearment. Now it would sound almost kind of condescending, but God was speaking at that time, and the thing of it is this miracle. This starts out displaying His glory and displaying His deity, and I think at that moment He was somewhat facing the cross already. He was already thinking about it. But He didn't hesitate because He was doing the Lord's will. He was doing what His Father sent Him to do.
Sure.
That's why He said, Mine hour is not yet come. See, even then, at that very moment, He was thinking about the work down the road that He had to do.
Sure.
Down to the hour.
Yeah, down to the absolute hour.
Yep. Sure.
And His mother said unto the servants, Whatsoever He saith unto you, do it. She got the point. She understood what was going on, and I know that Mary had to know that He was divine, but she still had some learning to do.
Yeah. We all do.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to say, as we all do.
Yeah.
And they were set there 6 water pots of stone first. It's not 7. 7, Mike's teaching me these numbers mean something. And the Lord wouldn't have put numbers in these passages if they weren't significant. Otherwise, He'd just say, well, there were some jars over there. No, there were 6. Because 6 is the number of man. And they're stone cold. And they were empty.
Inert.
Yes. They weren't silver. They weren't the metal of redemption. They weren't gold. They weren't the metal of the glory of God. They were stone, and they were empty, just like Israel was at the time. And see, another symbolism here is that the wine symbolizes joy, and they were out of it. See, there was a lot. Whenever I first read through this and then was going back and studying everything, I didn't realize how much there is here, and I still don't. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I know exactly what I'm talking about, but there's just so much.
It's true.
So he, after the matter of purifying of the sun, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece. Like I said, that's about 9. A firkin's about 9 gallons. Fill the water pots with water, and they filled them up to the brim, and said unto them, Draw out now and bear to the governor of the feast. What did Christ do in this process? He didn't physically do anything. He didn't do hocus pocus. He didn't, so said-eyed, nothing like that. He has the servants filled the 6 with water, and then the servants draw out the water, and it's wine. I think that has to show that a little bit of symbolism that the Lord at times is pleased to use his servants, because water is a representation of the word. The Lord is pleased at times to use his servants to fill the stone with water that then becomes wine and is joy unto his children.
Amen. That's right.
Yeah. Good job.
They filled them to the brim, and they said unto them, Draw out now and bear to the governor of the feast. And like I said, that to me, that is not me, but other servants of the Lord who are taking and spreading the word and feeding the sheep and giving the joy. And so to back up a little bit though as well, I think Mary also in this was a little bit of a shadow of the nation of Israel. The nation, not spiritual Israel, but the nation of Israel. Because one, at the time, she didn't at least understand the depth of Christ's deity, and she basically gave him an order, exactly like what the Pharisees wanted to do. Even though they had no clue. So I've been saying that Judaism was a husk at the time. You know, the Sanhedrin had no clue who John was. They had no clue who Christ was, even though they were supposedly the learned men of the nation. So she had ordered, just like they wanted they wanted a Messiah to come and set up a kingdom and rule, instead of coming to save them. So that I think that's all I got.
Oh, that was
That's
overwhelming.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know about that. Thank you.
Absolutely.